What's going on, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Texas Steel Podcast. I'm Pierce Trexler, joined always by my boy, Drake Greenstein, here to get a little preview as we head into Week 8 of the NFL season. Got the New York Giants coming to the crib, Monday Night Football. Color Rush Uni is going to be out and in full effect. Fingers crossed we can get those yellow helmets, but it'll be
Please.
TBD. We will see when they take the field. All the promo photos have been the normal helmets. Drake, sitting at 5-2, hoping to push for 6-2. How you feeling against this Monday night matchup?
Pierce, I feel good, but you know that ain't the storyline today.
Oh, run it.
Pierce, you know that ain't the
Lay it on
storyline. Let's just give the viewers what they want to hear, bro. What the hell are we doing at receiver, bro?
Why? There should be...
What are we doing, bro?
There should be... And again, seeing some of these other teams get... Why is all these teams in the NFL, we should be anti-Chiefs. Why are we even working negotiations with them? They get D-Hop, and I know there was...
The Bills get Cooper?
Bills get Cooper. He was never... Amari Cooper. Never that he was going to come to us.
We'll talk about the other Cooper,
Cleveland would have never done that. But yeah, I guess we can just jump right into it. As soon and as quickly as the Cooper Kupp trade to Pittsburgh came to fruition, I feel like it extinguished out. He went out and started with the LA Rams against Minnesota 2 days ago. And, went off. He had but he had a touchdown, came up with some timely catches, and does not look like he's going to be on the trade market. Rams are only a game out of the first place contention behind the Seahawks. And why at this point would you trade your Triple Crown receiver, Super Bowl MVP receiver? It just doesn't make sense. So Steelers fans, the delusion of landing a receiver just continues to implode on us.
Well, we signed Andy Isabella, if that means anything, from the practice squad.
Snoop mean, drop it.
No, but here's what I wanted to break. It was not even breaking news, but it is official though that the Bills and the Steelers both received calls from the Rams in regards to Cooper Kupp. The Rams were calling us, bro. I don't know. I don't know. So let me just put it this way: second round pick, would you have given it away for Cooper Kupp?
Hands down.
So would I.
But again, I kind of counter that because we look at some of our past round draft picks who we've gotten in the second round.
Yeah, that's
a
big.
George Pickens, a Pat Fryermuth, a Zach Frazier. There's some big marquee names, and it's like, we see those guys impact to the game now. But again,
to be fair, Pierce, those guys were picked. Those guys were picked when we were like building. We were a team building.
Yeah.
Now I think we've been built, bro. We are in win now mode.
Yes, and if we are chasing Super Bowls and all in on this year, why would we not just? We saw it work for the Rams 2-3 years ago whenever they went all in, and they got a Super Bowl, and they're still relative and competitive. It's not like they dropped off the face of the earth for 5-10 seasons on end. If Omar Khan, if Mike Tomlin are dead serious about trying to be all in this year, obviously Tomlin was with the way he pulled Justin and put in Russ last week. We're desperate in need of a wide receiver. We're one George Pickens injury away from being cavemen out there. But, my God.
No, but I will say, I said it at the beginning, and it's honestly becoming a consensus around Steeler Nation, Pierce, that like we can talk about the team, bro. I know you're not going to like to hear this, bro, but I just don't think when it comes to winning serious games in January, I don't think we can beat the Bills or the Chiefs in a high-stakes game without a receiver too, bro.
Because, again, they're just going to
It's a passing league, bro.
For sure. And if they double George Pickens, if you literally just take him out of the equation, we're counting on Calvin Austin and Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
No disrespect. They've come up in timely plays, but those are wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 guys. We need some compliments. And again, you look at Cooper Kupp, if it was legitimately an option, you mean to tell me he wouldn't fit into this flawlessly as a slot, as an outside guy? He can literally play any position on it. Yeah. And you got him complimenting George Pickens. Russell Wilson would be licking his lips looking at either of those guys. So it's just unfortunate. Again, it came quick, and I feel like it got extinguished pretty quick because the Rams went on to win against the Vikings. They go up to 3-4, and they're only a game out of behind the Seattle Seahawks. So it's like, in any right mind, why would they give him up? So again, it's deflating. I know we're quote unquote the top runner for every wide receiver that's been
the
out
betting
on the
odds, bro. But I'm done, Pierce.
No,
strike out on Ayuk, strike out on Devontae, strike out on Cooper, bro. This is just at this point, bro. Like we're just Well, I mean, let's put it this way, bro. This Omar, don't get me wrong, he's made his moves. He's made good moves, but like
This one hurts.
he made the trade for Dante Jackson, which I don't disagree with. I'm okay shipping out Deontay for Dante, who has been incredible. He has second in the league for picks. But at that moment, every single Steeler fan knew, okay, well, at some point in the draft or in the regular season through like trading or through free agents, we need to pick up
And this
a
was
viable
months before.
months
We
ago,
had
Pierce.
so much time.
And here we are, 4 to 5 months, bro. Like, sorry, but Omar, I mean, with the good comes the bad, bro. And we haven't had a single viable replacement for this position, bro.
And
No,
I
go,
can
go,
in.
yeah.
And again, we thought we may potentially have had this guy in house drafting a Roman Wilson in the 3rd round. And yes,
This has been
he's
a
had
shit show
He's
with
had a
Roman.
bit of injury things along the way, and then the Tomlin excuses of it's tough to catch a moving train. Doesn't even want to throw him out there, but it wasn't tough for Russell Wilson to catch a moving train as he just threw him out there, coming off injury, not playing a game in damn near a year. I mean, the Roman Wilson thing, he could be the X factor to help get us and move the needle to some degree to be more competitive in a wide receiver 2 position.
It's
but
looking like Calvin Austin's rookie year. You hear his hamstrings. He tweaked his hamstring. Now at this point, they're probably
Will he
gonna
play this
Yeah, they're
season?
probably gonna
Like-
put him on injured reserve. So he probably won't see the field once.
I looked at the practice lineup going into this week. He, of course, was not a participant. I mean, I think hasn't even practiced as much as he's not practiced this season, let alone gotten game snaps or game time. So very unfortunate in that regard. I mean, we truly think we could be sitting on an answer, but we're acting like our hands are tied with it and not actually giving him the chance to get out there and perform, which it could be just the thing that us Steeler fans and this team in general is desperately needing.
Yep.
But now we look at the wide receivers across the market that are still available, and it's like, I'd rather save our draft capital,
Yeah.
save our money in the long run, and work with the guys we have in house. Because, I mean, a few of the other guys out there, it's just one, probably not realistic, or two, just would they really move the needle for us?
Yeah, I agree.
Very
But as
tough.
far as this Giants game, Pierce, I mean, look, I'm not quote unquote overlooking it, but let's just like state the facts and how they are. The Giants, they suck.
Yeah.
They're not a good football team. I mean, let's just call it how it is, bro. They're not good, bro. Daniel Jones signed one of the richest NFL contracts. He's on the verge of being benched. You got I can't think of a single offensive player.
Malik Neighbors is out this game too.
Is he?
He's injured.
Oh, I
gonna
thought he
be
was
out.
playing.
I saw this was granted
Oh,
probably
Malik
3
Neighbors
or 4
is
days
relevant.
ago.
No, Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors is the truth. That I will give him credit for. The only thing really that concerns me, or that should be a talking point, a true talking point going into this game, is Pierce. The one thing I'm a little concerned about is the Giants do have they're ranked number 1 in sacks in the NFL going into this week.
And with a banged up O-line like we do have, obviously it's going to be interesting to kind of see how we're able to hold up against it. But again, I thought with the injuries, barring that we had, we were saying kind of similar things against the Jets last
Yeah,
week. And
with Quentin
we only let
Williams.
up 1 sack with who we thought Russell Wilson coming in was going to be a sack machine, getting sacked left, right, and center. Only gave up 1. So, I mean, obviously holding their own, getting a little healthier all across the board. I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to. Oh, okay, no. So actually, I
think
stand
he's
by
active.
that.
He was out last week.
Yeah,
right?
he will be coming back. I saw something earlier in the week. I think it was Tuesday that said TBD, but leaning towards not being in. But it looks like just based off this that was published yesterday, he will be active against us. So obviously, that'll be a good weapon for them to have. But if he doesn't have a guy to throw him the football, I mean, it'll be interesting. And I think JPJ can lock it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, our secondary is still healthy, getting back. Dante Jackson should be out there. But on the offensive side of the ball for ourselves, no, we're still kind of in a lull for figuring out our wide receiver. But we got Cordero Patterson coming back this week.
Huge.
After seeing how Jalen Warren played last week, it looks like he's kind of getting back to full health. So
Jalen Warren's fantasy points, his expected fantasy points, keep on going up and up every week. So I'm like, all right, I know he's getting ramped
healthier.
up.
He's getting healthier. And again, if we need to ground and pound just to get out the stadium and get it done, I mean, we can obviously do that with all 3 of our triple-headed monster coming back at the running back position. No real other injuries across the offensive board that we haven't already discussed or talked. Frazier is going to be out this game, but likely projected to come back after our bye against the Commanders. So obviously starting to get healthier. Nick Herbig, I think, either is coming back this game or
We
coming
have an
back after the
onslaught
bye.
of guys coming back after the bye. So we
Oh,
got
yeah.
Giants Monday night, and then Washington the week after, and then it's a bye, right? Or is
No,
it a bye after and then Washington? Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
So we'll be healthy
Yeah.
come the gauntlet.
This is
stretch
a
that
good
we
game
have.
where it's like, look, I know no game in the NFL is guaranteed, but you kind of get. I mean, no, I'm not even gonna say kinda, bro. You got a bad football team.
All right,
in
we
New
want to
York.
talk guaranteed out of the past. I don't know how many years this go back, so I should have double checked. But the Steelers at home Monday Night Football have been 22 for the past, or no, 21 for the past 21 games. We've won 21 straight Monday Night Football games at the crib. Let's go and make it a Najee Harris.
1991, Pierce.
91.
91.
That goes to show that we do this. We know what we're doing at home. Tomlin obviously gets the troops rallied, and what seemingly is a layup of a competition this week. Let's go ahead and make it a 22 for that record moving forward. But I obviously like our odds in this. There's no real. I hope this doesn't age poorly, but there's no real threats on the Giants side of the ball, both offensively and defensively. I know you mentioned the defensive stat where they rank a little higher, but again, I think
Well, first in sacks. So I mean, that's definitely something to be aware of. Also, but on the other side, on the flip side, they're really good in pass defense. They're top 10, but on rush defense, they are.
which is our bread and butter.
Yeah. So I honestly, for me, what I'm looking forward to see is, all right, you blew out the Raiders, you blew out the Jets. The Raiders are a bad football team. The Jets, honestly, I don't want to say even they're. I think the Jets are just
On
mediocre.
paper, they should be one of the
Yeah,
best.
but the Jets, something's wrong with the Jets. That's a whole nother conversation. But the Giants have proven themselves, Pierce, to be a bad football team. Beat a bad football team, and don't just beat them, bro. Like win convincingly. That's what I want to see. At least a 7 to double digit. Anything lower than 7, I'd be like, okay, why are they hanging around?
Yeah, for sure. And again, that's one thing that you look just across the media outside of Steelers Nation. People are like, oh, well, they're beating up on bad teams and yada, yada. They're not that good. They're just beating bad opponents. Look, you're facing up with the people you're facing up against. You can't control who you have in the schedule. And the fact that we're going out and beating handedly the teams that are the teams that we should be beating, I mean, that goes to say something. And so I hate the controversy of people saying or trying to dumb down the Steelers as not being
Legit.
supposed to be ranked a 5th seed in the AFC. But I mean, look, you can't control who you play. You can only control how you play them, and we've done that exceptionally the past 2 weeks. So
That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop
let's
right
go
there.
ahead and take care of the Giants. I guess not tomorrow, but Monday night. So it should be electric. We got this bar downtown Austin. Shiners, shout out. It's a Steelers bar. We're going to be pulling up with majority Steelers fans, and that one oddball Giants fan will be pulling up. Cole, shout out. But hope you're going to be crying more than laughing on this one. But he's in the same predicament. Talking to a Giants fan firsthand, he's like, we need to bench Daniel Dimes. Like he's everyone.
Danny Dimes,
They're
bro.
in a predicament for sure. And so when you know that your whole fan base is downward spiraling, as is the franchise, I mean,
Your
you gotta-
highest paid player's getting benched.
and
Pierce.
and then the player that you should have kept as your franchise guy just torched you last week coming
torched.
back to the crib.
Broke his personal record for rushing yards. I mean, bro.
Insane. So obviously they're hurting right now. I hope they're not playing with too much of a chip on their shoulder. But again, this is a game that we can't come out flat with as we did the Colts. I mean, we've seen this story too many times before. This has everything written on it to be a Tomlin loss. Let's just hope that we can lock it in. Keep the players hungry, because if we can get to this bye at 6-2, both of us said before this season even started, if we can hit just the 6-2 threshold and continue to go into the bye healthy, come back out of it, we have a great chance of staying high.
Incredible, Pierce. I think it's time to talk about this daunting schedule, bro.
Let's get into it.
Really
Let's get
quickly,
into it.
before we wrap this up, this daunting schedule, bro. Let's talk about that. We hit this 6-2. I'm just gonna say it. Steelers 27-10, by the way. 27-10 over Giants.
I don't hate it. I think we can score more personally.
All right.
But I haven't had the time.
Well,
to
throw out a
fully
score
think.
prediction, then let me say what I'm about to say right here.
I'll
27-10.
come back to my score
Okay.
prediction. Give me some time. To
What I will
marinate.
say, This daunting NFL schedule, which to be fair, I guess hindsight bias or hindsight's 2020, but let's look at this daunting schedule, bro.
Browns sweep.
Browns twice.
Sweep.
We're sweeping that. You're looking at a Bengals team that's been a mess.
That defense can't. They're Swiss cheese back there.
Okay, the Commanders, yes, are good, but Jaden Daniels,
he might be hurt. That
a rib injury. Yeah,
he's obviously.
And you're telling me
this week.
Marcus Mariota? No, Pierce. No, You're looking at a Ravens team that we've beaten 6 out of the last 7 times. I'm not discounting the Ravens. They're a quality football team. No pushover here.
We have Lamar's number. Always
Yes.
have. He's only beaten us once in his entire time in the NFL. Let that sink in, Steelers
Yes.
Nation. Lamar Jackson has only beaten us once, guys. That's insane. That's a crazy stat. We've had backups playing him, and we've still came out on top.
With a combined amount of I think we forced out of the 6 times we played Lamar, almost 8 to 10 turnovers.
Oh
So
yeah, where is kryptonite?
yeah. So you got the Giants. I'm gonna call that a dub for what it is. You got a hobbled Commanders team. You got 2 Browns games, which should be gimmies.
Guaranteed.
With Jameis Winston
Guaranteed.
or DTR, whoever's starting at quarterback, doesn't matter. Those should be wins, Pierce. Cincinnati's reeling. They got issues outside. I don't
They
know.
are starting to heat. I mean, anytime you got Joe Burrow at quarterback, though, I've given my fair Joe.
We got
Burrow
his number
slander.
here though too. I'll just put it this way: this daunting schedule that we thought we'd have to go undefeated on. Look, Pierce, I think there's a little bit of margin of error because it's not as bad as once I thought, man.
And the AFC has been more open than it ever has been in years past. I mean, you look at, there's truly only those 3 juggernaut tier teams. Honestly,
Chiefs, Bills, and
I wouldn't even say the Texans. I'd say Chiefs,
Yeah.
Bills, Ravens are
Yeah.
the go-getters.
Those
The Texans are still exceptional football team. Don't get me wrong, but
they got to win
they're
a big
beatable.
game.
They're
Yeah.
beatable.
Yeah.
I'm not shivering in my timbers having to go up against the Texans, but you look at the Bills, the Chiefs, definitely those are games I get a little more amped up and kind of nervous about. But
Gage said it right, though. I think the big goal, obviously, is to win a playoff game. But right now, the Steelers' goal, win the division. We need a host.
home playoff.
We need a
game,
host
bro.
a playoff game, Pierce, so that we can. Because I would hate to go into Buffalo again. I'd hate to go into Houston or Kansas City. But all that to say, I like the Steelers in this game. I say 27. I'll switch it. 27-13. And
Give them a little grace.
I'll give them a little grace. 27-13. And I like this latter half of the schedule more than what we initially thought, Pierce. Way more than I initially thought.
Let me see here. Put back-to-back 30 points 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, you about to drop. You about to
Let's
drop
see.
it.
Give me the Steelers.
Oh, you about to.
Just trying to do some math.
He's
here.
doing a 40 ball. Just wait.
Let's give a little 31-13. I'll
Okay,
stick with the
okay.
13. I think I don't. Are they gonna get a touchdown though? I like us breaking 30 points again. We should have seen what was Russ's worst game as a Steeler, knocking the rust off, coming back, learning the playbook, going out there and actually executing against what people were praising to be a tough Jets defense rather. So, I see no reason we shouldn't cross that 30 point. So I'll lock it in. Actually,
Oh.
31-9, just a bloodbath.
All right, 3 field goals. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
They're going to obviously, but again, whenever they are down so far, they're going to be having to air it out, go for it on 4th down, etc. I'll stick with my original one, 31-13. I want a bloodbath. I want an embarrassment on their front for Monday Night Football, and I want Shiners to be rocking.
Yes.
So, any other news you want to tap into before we get out? I was just looking across the other opponents that obviously we're hoping for their downfall. We got the Ravens going, I believe, into Philly playing the Eagles. So.
Oh, no, into Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is it Philly? Hold on.
No, I'm sorry. Bengals going into Philly.
Oh, that's a great game.
So obviously we need the Dirty Bird or just the Birds
Philly into Cincy.
Philly into Cincy. So Philly, obviously they're coming off a big win. Hoping they can keep that steam rolling and kind of if Cincy could take another L, I would really kind of extinguish their season. But again, they're starting to creep back, starting to play a little better, especially Joe Burrow. So obviously hoping for a Cincy L there. We got Ravens at Browns.
Ravens at Browns.
Ravens
correct.
at Browns.
Colts at Texans.
Colts at Texans, and then
Bills at Seahawks.
Seahawks,
Wow,
which
great
should
game.
be a good one. Come on, Seahawks. That would help us tremendously. Obviously, any AFC juggernaut, we're hoping for their downfall. So we'll see. It'll be nice to be able to kind of see how everything plays out on Sunday and knowing exactly what we need to have happen. Obviously, we want to dub it out regardless, but only add some fuel to the fire seeing a Bills go down, a Texans go down, a Ravens go down, a Bengals go down, and then you just know, I mean, you could only leapfrog the competition even further. So
These games on Monday against teams like the Giants, Pierce, these are the games you look back and say, previous seasons, oh, I wish we could have controlled our own destiny. This is a chance to control your destiny.
when we're talking,
Win the gimmies, Pierce.
when we're in January, looking back, obviously we're gonna reflect this Colts one, the Cowboys loss. Don't make us reflect the third game. Go ahead and capitalize, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And again, vibes are up. I'm feeling like we should obviously go in there, handle some business, but we'll be here recapping Monday night or Tuesday. It'll be out for you guys. Very excited for this one. Just come on, Steelers Nation. Give us those yellow helmets, bro. It's been so long. So bring it back. Color Rush. Thread's going to be looking good. Anything you want to hit before we get on out of here?
Let's handle business Monday, bro. I just want to feel good about myself. I want 30 points for the third week in a row, Pierce.
Check a stat. When's the last time that happened? Killer B era, maybe? I mean, it's definitely exceeded the past 3 to 5 years, I would have to imagine. So we'll tune in. We'll give you a recap as soon as hopefully we beat the brakes off the Giants. But until next time, Steelers Nation, keep the vibes up, keep the energy high. And here we go, Steelers. Here we go.